So, hello, beautiful people out there in Facebook, YouTube, and Twitter, and wherever else on Spotify, on wherever you may hear and see this podcast. This is the Demetra K Show, where we promote Black love, knowledge, and understanding of all things that go on in the Black community to make us an even better people, with the emphasis on evil, because we are not evil, even. We are great people, but we can always strive to do better. And so, like to say a big giant thank you and welcome to Donovan, the recovering Democrat Sadiq, for sitting co-host here with me on this very beautiful Tuesday afternoon. Today we are going to be talking about that of, all right, Donovan, of Mr. Derrick Jaxn, who is, I guess, what you call I don't know, a relationship guru to the women, and he has disclosed some things to us that a lot of people already knew, but really has gotten out there with it. And so we're also going to talk about polygamy, to do or not to do. And then, of course, we're going to play our game toward the end. And so, Donovan, what say you before we get started?
All right, you guys, welcome to the Demetra K podcast. It is great to have you here. Do us a favor, hit that like, share, subscribe, and even become a member so that you can get updated on when Demetra drops these great videos that she drops to keep informing you of what's going on in the Black diaspora around the world. Great topic today. We're going to really get into it. The Derrick Jaxn thing. I think I have an opinion about it, so you guys get ready. It's going to be an interesting show. So, Demetra, take it away.
All right. So again, you guys, I'm sure by now you've heard of Derrick Jaxn, who is a relationship guru. I like to refer to him as the Pied Piper to gullible Black women. I know he, reaches out to a lot of women, but that's who I deem him to be, the Pied Piper, right? He says all these things. You're so wonderful. You're my queen. And if a man doesn't do this, and then you should do that, A, B, C, and D. And I will say this, on the surface, a lot of his relationship advice, I would agree with it. So I'm not going to say all the stuff that he says is kind of, as some people would say, simpy. I think a lot of stuff he does say has a lot of weight and merit. However, a couple of months ago, maybe even a year ago to this point, Derrick Jaxn got caught cheating. No, not cheating. I say cheating because up until that point, a lot of people thought he was single. Like, we never even knew that he was married, never heard of a wife or any of that kind of stuff until we found out he had a wife. But we found out he had a wife because he was caught with different women. I guess some women disclosed that, hey, he's been messing around with me type of thing. And of course, y'all saw the infamous video of him sitting with his wife, and he's explaining, what was going on and this, that, and the other. I guess it was his him introducing us to his wife. And so everybody's like, okay. So, of course, this comparison came out between him and Kevin Samuels, the late Kevin Samuels, I should say, and that the Derrick Jaxn catered to what people would say the women, and Kevin Samuels catered to the men, right? And so when he got caught cheating, it was memes everywhere making fun of it, because it's like, y'all listening to this man talking about, make sure your man is not doing this, your man is doing that, and then he's doing all the stuff he's telling the ladies not to do. So he has millions of followers all over the internet, whether it's YouTube, Instagram, and you name it, he's got millions of followers. Okay. So people thought, okay, well, for sure, the ladies are going to say, okay, that's it. He's a charlatan. We're not going to follow him anymore, and it's over. Well, that didn't turn out. A lot of people, some people I'm sure made an exodus, but a lot of people was like, well, we're going to stick with him. He made a mistake. He's human, blah, blah, blah. And then recently, as of last week, it was discovered that he filed for divorce from his wife. And he put out a statement along with a picture that read like this. Over the past several months, my family and I have gone through many changes. Some of you have speculated, while others of you have reached out to offer support as we privately establish this new normal for ourselves and our beautiful children. Earlier this year, after much prayer, counseling, and deep conversation, we decided to go our separate ways and filed for divorce. Making the decision to file was one of the hardest decisions of my life, but I found peace knowing that our mission of raising healthy children, starting with healthy and whole parents, is still being accomplished. From falling in love as just teenagers to becoming spouses and now co-parents. I am grateful for the years we've spent together and wouldn't trade them for anything. I was blessed to have such an amazing person in my life and will forever be thankful for all that she's meant to our family. Now, that came out after he was once again discovered to be with a few women, from what I understand. I guess he was in Miami and he was caught booed up with some other women. So it's like some are saying, okay, now he just got to the point to where he's like, okay, you know what? I can no longer try to explain this away. Excuse me, I got a sun on my face. I'll fix that in a minute. I can't explain this away. So let me just go on and, file for divorce instead of having to go through all that again. And so, honestly, for me, just even saying all of that and just thinking about it, because also his wife, I think it was like 2 weeks ago, she got on her Instagram and she said, let's see, it was kind of weird if you ask me. Let me see, I'm gonna try to find it.
Yeah, she was using Bible verses of look at yourself and stuff. It's crazy.
Yeah, it was pretty odd. I can't find it anyway, but she was basically saying that you guys are going to be cursed, and may your children's. Oh, here it goes. It says, because she was admonishing people for speaking ill of her and Derrick's relationship. So she says, may your husbands and wives become widows. Let your children become fatherless. Let your seeds become vagabonds of the earth. Let the words of your mouth and the words of your hands be returned back to you. Let it go down your throat and choke you slowly until your days become few on the earth. The word of God says, touch not my anointed and do my prophets no harm. You've been warned. I mean, that's kind of how I read it. So that's what she said. And I guess, she was putting that out there to people like, yo, keep your name off of our relationship. And then lo and behold, this dude is caught out there, being a dirtbag again, and he files for divorce from her. So I don't know, maybe those words came back on her. I don't know. I don't know what to make of it. Donovan, what say you?
Well, that was a great take on the Derrick Jaxn thing, but Black men have been telling Black women, especially, about simps like Derrick Jaxn. I mean, telling you not to listen to this guy, because when a man is talking like that in regards to simping, most likely he's probably doing it himself. And we pointed that stuff out to a lot of Black men, but oh no, he's telling you what makes you feel good. Oh yeah, no, he's right there. Ooh, girl, he's so fine. He's doing this. Ladies, if a person is telling you a certain thing, please make sure that they're living the life that they're supposed to. Why is it, Demetra, that we don't do our homework or research when we're going with a certain topic or a certain guru? This guy could be a scammer, which a lot of the young girls love scammers, rather than a guy that works 9 to 5. And they'll go with that person like it's gospel. Like you have these prosperity preachers. Please, somebody show me, and I don't care if you get upset about it or not out there. Show me a pastor that was making millions of dollars and the Lord called them and then he gave it all up to go preach the gospel. We all, especially in the Black community, we always get these ex-drug dealers, ex-pimps, and just people that are into the church for the money, the prosperity pastors and all this other stuff. So, and then Black women love symbolism. You guys love to hear what makes you feel good. And everybody does. It's just not Black women. Everybody does, right? Oh, we're all queens. If everybody's a damn queen, then who are you ruling over? Every female can't be a queen. Every guy can't be a king, but you guys love the sound of it. Whatever makes you feel good, right? And then you got the Black Lives Matter, Derrick Jaxn. You got all these, what's the other lady, Stormy, whatever her name is. She acts like, remember she had the chicken plate and talk about that's not a chicken plate or whatever. She's like a prosperity relationship coach. And she was telling her friend they paid like $15,000 to go to this barbecue. And she had a chicken plate and was telling the girl, oh, that's not a queen's plate. But these people paid $15,000 and it was incredible. All of these scammers that are on the come up, and you know what they're on the come up about? They're on the come up because they see people that are so emotionally damaged and want answers to their problems that they're willing to give up thousands of dollars just to be told what they already want to hear. And that's the sad thing about it. I mean, Eliza Van Zant, all of these Derrick Jaxn type people who know Black people emotionally. We're emotional people by nature, and they're taking advantage of that. Black Lives Matter, all these things. Millions of dollars are involved in all of this stuff. And then another thing that kills me is this. Like I said, I don't know Derrick Jaxn and his wife's situation. This poor lady has probably been dealing with Derrick Jaxn cheating on her for years, allegedly. Allegedly, okay? I don't know for a fact, but I've been married before. Demetra's been married before. A leopard doesn't change its spots. The man, and I'm not gay, he's a good looking brother, built, nice, I mean, a lot of women would be like, ooh, yeah, that's the man I would want to be. He's an attractive guy, right? So I'm very sure he has no problem getting the ladies. And I'm very sure that this is not new to this woman because the man has probably been doing this for years. And I'm saying that as a man, and not saying that all men cheat. What I'm saying is, this guy obviously takes advantage of his gift of gab and his look to form a narrative to take advantage of women financially and in some cases physically. So, I mean, I'm not surprised by this, but Black men have been saying for a long time to Black women, stop listening to a guy like this because we're going to tell you what a guy like that is actually about. And to me, it's no secret. And it's so sad in their relationship. Maybe they've been going through problems for a long time, but what I noticed in the relationship, especially with our young people, it's so easy just to walk away from the relationship rather than work it out, which is why I do not understand how you could be with that person for 7 years, give them children, live with them for 7 years as if you're married, and then the relationship doesn't work out. There's advantages to being married. So if you're going to get married, why not get married and take the benefits of being married, but, that's just my opinion. But I'm not surprised that this guy was exposed.
Well, you say not all women can be queens. Well, I think when we refer to our people as kings or queens, obviously we're not talking about ruling over a queendom or a kingdom. I think we're talking about that of a mindset, a queen mindset. And I think we say that to our people is because oftentimes we believe that we have come from our beginning was in America when we became slaves. But the ideology is we were so much more than slaves before we were brought over here. We were kings and queens and doctors and just a whole bunch of dignitaries, right? Farrakhan always talks about that we did not create, and I'm going to say this word, and I know, some people don't like it, but I'm going to say it for educational context. We did not create the nigger. The white man created that. However, we have gone on to behaving that way, right? And so when we call ourselves kings and queens, hey queen, hey king, it's to remind each other that you come from greater. The things that we are doing and saying now that is beneath where our forefathers, I ain't talking about the forefathers of America, I'm talking about the forefathers and mothers of the motherland. We are so much more than we have subscribed to as of now. So that's what that's about. So I don't have a problem with us referring to ourselves as queens and kings. It also serves as a reminder, hey, stop. My mom used to always say, hey, stop all that nonsense. Stop all that twerking. Stop all that sagging. You are queens and kings. Queens and kings do not behave that way. So that's where I understand the endearment of calling somebody a queen comes from. So and then you also go on to say about symbolism in regards to that of, and I don't know if I think you may be tying that into the queens or Derrick Jaxn, but yeah, Derrick Jaxn is a charlatan. I've always said that I was never one to subscribe to the teachings or the miseducation, if you will. And And I call it miseducation, although I said some of the things he said was valid. I call it miseducation because it wasn't coming from a genuine place. It was coming from a place of trying to hoodwink people. Because, for one, how you gonna tell somebody to be or to look for something that you are not? Because he said that they were together since they were teenagers. Well, that's a long time, because Derrick's got to be in his 30s, I would imagine. It's 30s, maybe, I think. So since you were teenagers, that's a long time. And so it doesn't sound like you were ever, allegedly, faithful to your wife. You've been taking her through the stuff, but you've been on the internet lying to women, having women believe in everything that you're saying. And then, because to me, nothing is more of a letdown than you following somebody and then you find out, like, well, damn. I call it, like Oz, the man behind the curtain. Like, oh, you're just a little puny old thing. You ain't even no big giant. Because when I was thinking of the man of, behind the curtain, I'm thinking this strong, all powerful person. So Derrick Jaxn was just a man behind the curtain type of thing, selling this dream to women of you should expect better. But the other thing is this. Because you said that he got over, he did. I will give you that. He got over telling women what they wanted to hear, and he sold a lot of products and things like that. But the other thing is why I think we really need to have this conversation. Why are there so many women out there willing to follow, as I call the Pied Piper of gullible women? Why do they feel why are they even in a place as far as belief systems or emotionally to feel like I need to follow him? Have they been through some stuff? Have they lost hope? Are they looking for just answers from a man who they deem to be good? To say, okay, well, maybe there's hope for me. Maybe they felt like I am doing something wrong when I'm choosing men. So why are so many women being taken advantage of? Like, how were they in a position to do that if they haven't run across the men that he was selling them to go be with?
Okay, well, I think that's a good question. I'm gonna disagree with you on the kings and queens thing in regards, but that's your opinion. I'm gonna disagree with it because you can't. I base titles on how you act. You can't be a king and you're selling drugs in the community. I'm sorry, so I'm not gonna call somebody a king or a queen when they're not acting appropriately.
Let me stop you just real quick because I don't want to go, because I preface that with saying that is a reminder of people who may not be acting.
Mm-hmm. She is frozen. Demetra is frozen. So let me continue the show for right now. There's some kind of hang up there. Sorry about that, you guys. But no, again, I just disagree with it. I know she prefaced it. My opinion is I don't call a person who's selling death and destruction in the community a king. If they don't know that already, then you're not. Okay. When you're born into royalty, you know that you're a king. When you're born into royalty, you know that you're a queen because you are taught accordingly how to act in regards to that. So that's just my opinion on that in regards to in regards to why women are feeling a certain way. Hold on real quick. This is Demetra. Hello.
Hey, just keep going. My power glitch.
Yeah. No, I'm going. Okay, all right, bye. So Demetra had a power glitch. So guys, please excuse that, but I'm going to go. But that was Demetra right there. But in regards to what she was saying when it comes to people who have been through stuff, you're not the only person that's been through stuff. That is life. That is life. You can't keep using that as an excuse. Do people care that here in America, as a Black man, I have the system against me? No, I've got to go through life and deal with what is. I can't just always use that excuse of, oh, it's Jermaine's fault. It's Jermaine's fault. No, everybody's been through something. What makes everybody think that they're so special that they're not going to go through some things. Now, should you go through some certain things? No, you shouldn't. But are you asking the right questions? Are you, when you meet a person, are you physically immediately going into the bedroom with that person, not knowing who you're sleeping with? I think that's one of the biggest problems in our community. People say I'm really hard on women and this is that. No, I'm just stating a fact as the way I see it, in my opinion. And my opinion is not fact. But I don't understand the modern woman today is the most liberated, the most educated. They have more rights and freedoms than any women before them, yet they're miserable. They're miserable. A woman could be president. A woman could do anything a man can do. But yet, every time it comes down to it, it's somebody else's fault. And I just don't think that is the antithesis of as an excuse to why you keep making the same mistakes over and over and over again. Even men too. These guys that keep having babies that they can't take care of. It's a two-way street. You got men and you've got women. You're bringing babies in the world, young men, and you're not taking care of them. Stop bringing babies into the world. You can't. The common denominator is always going to be you. It's always going to be you. So, accountability, ladies, where is it? Every time we're asking for you guys just to be accountable, you guys don't want to do it. It's everybody else's fault. So I'm going to disagree with that. But in regards to Derrick Jaxn, I find it hard to believe that you can't do a background search on a person and find out their credit score, find out their criminal history. You can do all of that in the modern age. But yet you have women that will date a man that comes straight out of prison and they can do what they want to do. And then when that guy reverts to what he's used to doing or whatever, I mean, where's the accountability? We're always making excuses of why that person's behavior is okay. But then, I hear these women always say traditional man. Oh, tradition. Oh, Demetra's back. We want tradition, right? So I ran across this girl and she was saying, oh, a man needs to be traditional, whatever. And I said, well, so you want me to be traditional, but you're not supposed to be. And she had a big problem with that. So Demetra, who are you with? Spectrum? What is it?
The whole neighborhood, it glitched, but it didn't go all the way. It didn't, like, the lights didn't go off. It just glitched. So I don't know if I was frozen. I apologize. Listen, y'all, I'm gonna keep it real with y'all. No shade to you Houstonians, but Houston is ghetto. I'm like, it just glitched, and sometimes it'll do that, right? So this is not the first time that I've been on here and it just glitches. I could be doing a meeting or something and it'll glitch. Ooh.
Yeah, I kind of figured when you froze up, I looked immediately at my internet connection and I knew it wasn't me. And I said, oh yeah, she lost power.
I don't know what you were saying, y'all. The opinions of Donovan is not the opinion of the host of the show. I have no idea what he was saying. So,
well, I was saying that I disagreed with you with the, with the Queen statement, and you were kind of talking about that before you cut out. Mm-hmm. But I also was saying that where's the accountability? Because you were saying how women were always, ending up with that type of guy or whatever, and they go to Derrick Jaxn because they want advice of how to not do those things. And my basic sororo was accountability. Where's the accountability? Everybody goes through problems. Everybody goes through it. Why are we the exception?
Yeah. So again, I apologize, y'all. I don't know all that Donovan said, so I'm going to just catch up with the question that you asked me. That question wasn't about accountability. I wasn't saying that the women were absolved of choosing said man. I'm saying, why is it that, and I don't know, we'll never know, but how is it that he is able to build a legion of women, such loyal women followers, even to the tune of him getting caught cheating, and then they're like, okay, well, it's almost like you made the good analogy of a pastor. We know many pastors, I've sinned, forgive me. and nobody leaves the church. So it's kind of the same thing. So the question I have, it wasn't about absolving the women of responsibility. It was like, how is it that he is able to get so many women to follow him? Like, what is going on in those women's lives that they look to him as some sort of a deity, right? He's a relationship deity, in that he's giving these women all this advice. Because, like me personally, I've had lots of relationship problems, but I saw through it, right? To me, I thought he was kind of corny more than anything. I thought it was corny because I'm one of those people. Like when I hear you speak enough, I'm like, because that's kind of how I view Derrick Jaxn. Like, okay, dude, you're laying it on kind of thick. You know what I mean? Now, I would hear him admonish some of the women sometimes. Oh, you got to bring your self-esteem and this. That's like, come on, man. You know what I mean? It's like, he's a pander, right? He's a pander for panties. Let's just keep it real. But I just wonder, like, where are these women at in their mind state to where he is? It's almost like, y'all hear me use this analogy a lot. Jim Jones in Guyana. He was the same way. Like, nobody thought to say, okay, let's see what this dude is about. I mean, well, he did, God's sake, nobody even knew the dude was married. He said he was married since teenagers. And then when he got caught the first time, it's like, you're married? Nobody knew you know. So, because he never talked about it. Because to me, when I follow people, and this is what I tell women all the time, stay clear of these Negroes. That's always, oh, my queen, this, or my queen, that, this black women, this. You know how you judge a good man that love black women? As if he got a black woman. If this man has, and listen, I'm not speaking bad of men, so I don't want anybody to think that. I'm just listen to me, ladies, okay? If this man got 11, 2, 3, 4 baby mamas that he has not made not one of them an honest woman, ask him, why haven't you married at least one of your baby mamas? Because especially, I see you on this internet, and I hear you on this internet talking about black women, you my queen, you this, that. All right, brah, where your black queen at? You mean to tell me you got all this good ass advice for these black women, but yet you ain't got one laying in the bed with you, or one that you put a ring on her finger? So that's what I'm saying, right? Because to me, a good litmus test for Derrick Jaxn for any woman would have been, all right, you talking about these good old dudes out there, and I'm not saying there ain't no good dudes out there, so I'm just saying from his point of view. You're talking about all these good men that are out there, and you obviously you're talking from the first person point of view, as if you're a good man. Great. Where is your woman? You've been on this internet for years telling black women where to, how to find a good man. Why your black woman ain't sitting next to you talking about, yes, he is all that he says he is. He treats me like the queen. He's telling y'all to be treated. Where's his woman at? You know what I'm saying? So that should be, and I'll say this too, because I've had this conversation with some people about Dr. Umar. I love Dr. Umar, but the other thing is, Dr. Umar is for black love, but where is his black wife? And as he said, black wives. Where's his black woman? The best way to be about black love is to actually be in black love. You know what I mean? So that's where we as just humans, not even just women, but men. You got all these people out there giving all that advice. And I tell you all the time, honestly, I'm horrible at relationships, right? Because, and I'm just be transparent with you. I don't feel like I'm a bad person. And like I said to you all the time, y'all could talk to any of my exes. The most they'll probably say is that, yeah, she talk a lot, but it's not talking to where it's like, oh, nag. You know, I got a lot in my mind. So a lot of times I like to talk. But they're never going to say she was talking to me crazy. She was bad with money. She didn't have no food on the table. She never told me no, or, you know what I mean, gave me no money. She wasn't, they'll tell you I'm a good person. So I say, obviously, I suck at relationships because I have not been able to stay in a relationship. And I would say this is admonishment for me, with a dude that is honest. I know that most people send their representative when they get in a relationship. Oh, I'm this, I'm that, I'm this, I'm that, I'm this, or that. You know, whatever the case is, and you find out they're living with their mom in the basement, you know, with 2 donuts on tires on the car and stuff. You know what I'm saying? But it's like, so the point that I'm making is vet this person. We follow all this advice. And the point where I was really going with, I know I give a lot of relationship advice, but I give it from a point of view of keeping it real with y'all. I'm not sitting up here saying I'm just all like that. I tell you, I suck at relationships. And I was just telling Donovan before we came on here, I'm all right with, I may die alone, but I ain't gonna be lonely. But I may die alone. I may not die with a husband. You know, I've gotten to the point to where I've accepted that, and I know for some people hearing that, they feel like, oh, that's kind of sad. It is, but guess what? It's, for me, it's better to die alone than to die going through. Because I see women that are a lot older than me dealing with nonsense, fighting over a dude, and you in your 50s, getting ready to be 60. You fighting with another woman over a dude who will sit there and let y'all fight over each other. He ain't, he ain't even worthy to be fighting over you. So that ain't gonna be me. I'm not gonna be fighting over no man. I ain't gonna be fighting, with no man. I ain't gonna be fighting with no woman. And I am not going to be holding no more nonsense, not getting no broken hearts. And so for me, this is me being a little bit, on the self-defeated side. So maybe tomorrow I won't feel this way. I feel like I'm keeping my heart safe. I'm keeping my mind state safe. Like, because today I'll be real honest with you. I feel like I'm on the therapist couch now. Today I'll be honest with you. I woke up not feeling so good mentally, because a lot of times I have people coming to me for different things. And, and unfortunately, some people, and I'll say one particular person likes to pick my brain, and then pick my brain and then go, plagiarize it as if that particular person came up with it. And so I'm one of those people sometimes I get really exhausted, and I'm just like, you know what, I'm good. I'm good just by myself type of thing. So again, going back to Derrick Jaxn, I get why he is able to amass such a following, because there are some women who think like me. However, there's a lot of those women don't take it the step further as far as I did. Like, now you laying it on thick, bruh. You see, that sounds too good to be true. You know what I mean? So, but always see where they woman is at. See where they man is at, since they got all this good ass relationship advice. See who they with at night.
Well, I'm going to have to go one step further. All of these women that have relationship problems with men, this is just me thinking outside the box as an independent thinker. Why go to a total stranger that you know nothing about, that doesn't know anything about your experience, for advice? Sometimes going to a stranger like a professional, that's a different story. When you're going to a professional, that's different. I've gone to a professional. Demetra's gone to a professional, whatever. My professional said I was damn near perfect, but that's okay. But I don't understand. Okay. Number one, you said something that women, I have a question. Why would a woman in her right mind would even entertain a man that tells her he has multiple children, and with multiple children means there's multiple women? That's crazy within itself. Number two, women that go to like a Derrick Jaxn, my question is this: where's your brother? Why aren't you going to your brother for advice? Why aren't you going to your uncle for advice? Why aren't you going to your father for advice? I would think they would be more credible to give you the answer to why your relationship is the way it is, because they might know you better than Derrick Jaxn does. And in any relationship, the common denominator in my relationships is me that don't work out. And if you can't even acknowledge that, why is it that it's always Jermaine's fault? And this is what I said when you were off the air. Why is it always Jermaine's fault? When are we going to look at ourselves and say, maybe I'm the issue? And in regards to Demetra, before we came on the air, we were talking, we were talking, and I'm not going to tell her how to live her life, but, I really don't feel, Demetra, that you should just give up and just come with the mantra that there are no guys out there. I'm very sure you're open to a guy approaching. I'm not saying that you're not, but when you got a lot of younger people and they see you older ladies, seasoned ladies, coming with that mantra, and you guys are espousing that, I think they're interpreting it differently. When you guys say, oh, I'm going to go be single, whatever, because when you're a 32-year-old woman and you've given up on life or given up on men, you're 32 years old. Now, Demetra, what, you're 73, 84? No, something like that. But you know where I'm going with that? They misinterpret it wrong, because you're supposed to go out there and have, in a perfect life, you don't want downs. But in real life, this earth, there's going to be ups and downs in life. And that's something you just got to go through. We all go through it. Nobody's exempt from problems, even in a perfect marriage. I have friends that have been married for 40 plus years I know for a fact there's been ups and downs, but I also have friends that went through horrific relationships and they're remarried and they found the person that was perfect for them. And they're just going through life that the best way they can at an advanced age that we are. So again, going to a total stranger that knows nothing about you and saying, yeah, that person has the answer. Yeah, I like what I hear. That's what it sounds like to me. The symbolism of they want to hear, oh, we're queens and we're perfect and we're this and we're that. Come on, ladies and gentlemen, let's be real. Let's be real. You're not a strong, independent person if you're dependent on the government. You're dependent on child support. You're dependent on this. We have to be real with ourselves. And I'm going to stand on this 10 toes down, male or female. You do not want to grow old alone. And I talk to Demetra about it all the time. No, I don't think Demetra's going to grow old alone.
I mean, I hope not. That's not my wish to grow old alone. I do not want to grow old with bullshit. That's what it is. You know what I mean? And I don't think, and listen, I'm not saying to any young woman, and I tell my daughter too, don't listen to your mama, okay? That's just me, okay? Obviously I would want to be, in a relationship. I'm one of those people, I don't want no more. I'm tired of the drama. I'm tired of unfaithful men. I'm tired of lies. I'm tired of all that. I think I'm a good person. Now I know I'm a good person. I'm a good person. I'm a good woman. I give my all in relationships. Maybe I should give a little bit and then take, not all next time. But I think I'm a good person. So I don't deserve.
Listen to your friends and family.
Yeah, I get it. But it's like I think to the point that I'm making, I'm a good person, so I don't deserve the stuff that's happened to me, by men. And I'm just keeping it real with you. And I'm not saying I'm perfect, but I've never, ever, ever done the stuff to anybody I was in a relationship that they have done to me. Never. You know what I mean? And I keep this taking a step further. I'm in Houston, not because like I said to you guys all the time, I wouldn't have come to Houston, to Texas. I was in Texas before. I didn't really like Texas. I don't really like Texas now. So I wouldn't have come here, but I came here, to marry my fiance.
Okay, wait, let me ask you a quick question with that.
Sure.
Did you come to Texas because you're a traditional woman and you believe that a woman should go to where her potential husband is? Or did you go there because I'm just going to go there and just make it, I'm going to just be in charge or whatever? That's a question, I really think women got to understand. I mean, why couldn't he come to California?
Well, you know
what I mean? I'm just saying the question basically is, did you go to California because traditionally that is what a woman is supposed to, or something that you wanted to do? Because you said you didn't like Houston. You've been there before. So why would you go back?
There was sound reason for me to come. It would have been easier for me to do that, right? So that's why I came here. But so I say all that to say, I think I'm a pretty much diehard romantic. I like being in relationships and, stuff like that. But I think for me, and I'm cool with it. Listen, I'm still sexy. I'm young. I'm sexy. I ain't got to rush into no relationship right now. You know what I mean? So right now, I think for more. And so ladies, don't. And I've had this conversation with other women, and I tell them, don't listen to me. This is my personal journey. Don't take my personal journey personally, right? For me, I'm just having a woosah moment. Now that woosah moment, maybe a year, maybe 2, could be 10. I don't know. I'm just having a woosah moment right now. I'm just really trying to get myself back grounded, because the last relationship I went through, I've been through breakups before, but this last one really did a mental job on me, if that makes any sense. I wasn't mentally well, not that I was going to go jump off or nothing like that, but it was, I couldn't believe it type of thing, right? To the point to where I had to go to therapy so I can at least try to make some sense of it. Plus, the person that I would have been able to talk to about it is my mom. She's no longer here anymore. My dad, I talked to him about it, but your dad is going to be like, well, you know what? It's all right, honey.
Now that you got your guns.
Right. Your daddy going to come from a daddy's point of view. but ain't nobody good enough for my daughter type of thing anyway. So I say all that to say right now, I'm just on a woosah moment. I'm not counting relationships out. I just kind of want to get myself back to, feeling like a whole person again. I'm 95% there. I want to be 100% like I was. So,
Well, let me ask you this in the Derrick Jaxn mold. What is the problem down there in Houston with men that you would say? Because I'm very sure you get approached because there's a lot of men down there and they got the thing. What would you say is the problem down there in regards to the pickings of men?
I don't know because I haven't seriously talked to anybody else other than my ex-fiance. So I haven't been. I mean, I've had conversations, but now I'm so in tune more than I ever have been before. I don't know. It doesn't really get that far, right? Because I hear the guy say a certain thing, or and I'm like, that type of thing. We could be cool, maybe. I don't know, but I don't know what the issue is. I don't want to label men in Houston because I haven't dated all men in Houston. I've only dated one man from Houston.
Well, it's not labeling them. You come from a totally different environment. So what I'm saying is, could you kind of tell us a little bit about the difference of environment coming from, it's like being from Philly and then being from New York, very close areas, but two different cultures.
I want to say this. I met lovely people from Houston, lovely people. But environmentally speaking, California is just a different beast. For one thing, I would say too, I think the thing that kind of sucked for me and it really was kind of like more of a mental drag is because the weather is often foggy and cloudy. So imagine going through, mental not being well. And I don't want to say like I was really just out there like cuckoo. Well, I was close, but not quite. So when you're already going through a funk and then the weather is always cloudy and bad, plus I don't know any else by out here besides my daughter. And I know a couple other people like that have been very kind to say, you know what, Sister Demetra, if you need something, we're here, that. So I'm not talking about them, but I'm just saying being away from my nucleus, and I'll jack that up, but my family, in California, we hustle. The weather is better. It's just the palm trees, the sunshine. I got my friends out
There's
there.
There's always stuff to do here, no matter what you do.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and here I'm more or less stuck in the house. Y'all got to remember too. I came out here during the pandemic, so during the middle of a pandemic, a lot of stuff was closed. It wasn't, so I was, already relegated to the house. So I think I've just kind of become stuck in the house per se now because it's safe for me. It's safe. I'll go here and there, but it's safe. I don't have to worry about getting into emotional deep waters with anybody or anything. Now I know that sounds kind of cowardly because most people who know me know that I'm very adventurous and I talk to people like when I'm out and about. So it's not like I'm like that. I'll talk to people, but I only let it go so far because I know that I have a lot of, walls up right now. And it's purposely up that way. I know that they're there. So it's not like I don't know they're there. I know they're there and I have built those walls because like I said, behind those walls, I'm working on myself. So I don't really want to say that Houston, like the men are bad because, men are men everywhere, but it's just not my home base.
So now we get to the root of it. Now, Demetra, let me tell you, you're a beautiful woman. If a man doesn't act a certain way, you need to do these things. Now, listen to me. Now, if you hit that PayPal right now, I'll tell you what you need to do. Right? Do you see what I'm saying? Right. And that's where I think these charlatans take advantage of a lot of women because you don't see a lot of dudes falling for this,
well, y'all talk Kevin Samuels.
No. I'm not talking about, the Kevin. You don't see a lot of dudes because Kevin Samuels wasn't really giving relationship advice. We're not going to pay for relationship advice.
What was he giving?
Oh, he was giving advice, but it wasn't like relationship. He wasn't saying, well, like you, unfortunately, you women are hopeless romantics. You guys are emotional beasts. sorry, the men I know, we're not going to pay for a dude to tell us what we already know ingrained in our minds. You know what I mean?
Oh, yes, but y'all were paying. Kevin Samuels got a bag off of y'all.
Well, you know what? I'm gonna have to disagree with that because a lot of the money that I would say he was getting, he got a lot of money from women that were
I'm
tuning in
not
this
saying he
show.
didn't, but I'm saying he got a lot of money from men too.
Well, I don't know the background about that, but what I'm saying is comparatively, this Derrick Jaxn guy was living a lifestyle off of women, him telling them what they want to hear. Just like
Derrick
I just told
Jaxn,
you, Demetra, you're beautiful. You're, you know,
yeah,
you
you
don't
know
need
what?
no man. Get you a dog, and whatever.
I'm gonna say this: Derrick Jaxn is no different than the pastor up in the church.
Absolutely,
He ain't no
absolutely,
different. Telling people
absolutely,
what they want to hear. Just
exactly.
like I said, I tell it all the time. You don't hardly see a lot of you don't see more men in the church than you do women because the pastor wanted that way, especially in our church and shit. Keep the men away so I can have all the kitty cat and influence to me.
Right, and then again, good men. We know what the church is about. So if you can see the men staying away from the church, we know that, a man could sniff bullshit out with another man. You know what I mean? That's why a lot of men, that's why a lot of men were saying Derrick Jaxn was full of shit.
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of women saying that too. He didn't have all the women follow him. He had a good following, but Derrick Jaxn is no different than your Kevin Samuels and a lot of the other people out there giving all this relationship advice. So I don't know. I just think that people out there, they're making money because there is a void there and a need. For some reason, these people feel hopeless in the relationship department. That's why too. When I see guys that's always on their page talking about black queen this, black queen that, but it's like, but you single though. You ain't got no woman though. But you tell, and I know why you do it, because if you sound woke and intelligent, then you get just like the pastor. I get all the kitty cat I can handle.
No, I do it because I want people to be knowledgeable about what's going on out there. I don't need to, show my smartness to get some women. You know what I mean? No, because that ain't what I do. So I'm just saying.
Please. So anyway, y'all, again, I apologize for that outage. Houston is ghetto. Anyway, we're going to play our game. It's called Tonight's Conversation, the date night edition. And I briefly looked at the cards. So I'm going to shuffle. Donovan, you want me to go first or you want to go first?
You go first. Ladies first.
Okay.
I saw that side that you pulled from already, but that's okay.
When it comes to dating, do you prefer to go with the flow or label and define things? I'm one of those people, I like spontaneity. I like to go with the flow. Now, it depends on what the flow is. If it's some nonsense, then yeah, I ain't gonna do that. I'm just gonna tell you flat out no. But I'm one of those people, I'm spontaneous, right? I like to do things on the fly. But I think I also like things labeled and defined. I say labeled and defined, if I don't know what those things are, then yeah, can you tell me a little bit more about it? But I love spontaneity, and I would say this just for me, Demetra K. A lot of the men that I have dated, they're not spontaneous. A lot of men that I've dated, they're just kind of like, well, I don't know, I don't want to do that, and so sometimes I end up, finding myself going by myself or whatever the case is. So, yeah, I like to go with the flow, but yeah, so that's my answer.
My answer to that is I like to go with the flow as well. But my flow, usually since I'm the man initiating the date, my flow is programmed. So I have a set program. We're going to go to this restaurant. We're going to go see this movie. We read on this movie at this time, whatever the deal is. But in comparison to the date, I want it to flow naturally in what we're doing. So yeah, I would agree with it too.
And I want y'all to know I'm drinking seltzer water and sugar-free juice. It's not wine.
Oh, okay. I thought it was whiskey. Sorry.
It should be. The day I'm having so far, it should be. Okay. Describe a time when you settled for less. Oh, shoot. Describe a time when you settled for less than you deserve. What lesson did you learn from it?
That's a hard question because I really don't settle for less, but it's it's a hard question for the simple fact that in what context, in regards to women or a relationship?
It doesn't have to be relationship. It could be
Yeah.
anything.
I really try never to settle for less. I try to get the best out of anything that I do. I mean, what would be the point of that? You know what I mean? I'm not a label hoe or anything like that. When I say label hoe, I'm not a person that's into Mercedes or Nikes because everybody else is doing that. But I never settle for less. If I do something, I do it to the best of my ability, and that's the end of that. When it comes to pursuing women and stuff, no, I'm not going to get the beautiful Cicely Tysons or the Kelly Rowlands or whatever you consider beautiful. But I will get the number 2 one, number 2 or 3. So.
I'm like you. I try not to settle for less intentionally, but a lot of times it doesn't have to be something like a relationship, right? Because I think saying that we settle for less in a relationship is subjective because it's like, well, were they less or were you less? You know what I mean? Because I'm sure they'll say the same thing. Well, you were less. So I don't really like to go there in far as relationships. But I say me personally, I think that I settle for less every time I do not choose to eat better foods and things like that. Because when you don't choose to make better decisions as far as your diet, then obviously you pay for it, health and weight and things like that. Now, the lesson that I learned from it is every time you settle for less, you'll never have more. Put that on the shirt. So I don't know that's the lesson I learned from. So I'm like you, I try not to settle for less. I always say that I'm very frugal, and I'm very frugal, but I'm not cheap. So what I mean by that is, I know, like, I was having a conversation with somebody the other day. They continuously buy their phone chargers from the Dollar Tree. I'm like, damn, this seems like this is the third or fourth conversation me and you have had about you getting a new charger. I said, why don't you just go to the store where you bought the phone and get the charger that goes to it, or go to Best Buy or somewhere where they have quality chargers? I said, because you keep going to the dollar store for a charger, you're going to get $1 worth of charger. I said, and then in the long run, I said, I'm not a mathematician, but if you keep going to the dollar store and spending money on, you might as well just went on and bought a new one. I said, since I got my phone, which is a year ago, I haven't gotten a new charger. I got the same charger that I got with the phone from, Verizon. And so the point that I'm making is, whenever you settle for less, then you cannot have more. You're going to keep getting less. When you go to the Dollar Tree, not just for a charger, but the Dollar Tree mentally, nothing wrong with the Dollar Tree. I go to the Dollar Tree for stuff I know I need for $1 worth, right?
I got stock in the Dollar Tree and it's doing good.
Yeah, but I'm saying I don't go to the Dollar Tree for stuff I need to last and to do really good work. I go for stuff that I know I'm going to get $1 worth of things. So when you are constantly at the Dollar Tree mentally, you always going to be at the Dollar Tree. Everything in your life is going to be at the Dollar Tree, physically, mentally, every way, shape, and form. So sometimes you got to say, yeah, I could go to the Dollar Tree, but I really need to be taking my ass to Verizon to get something that is going to, because see, you shop at the Dollar Tree mentally when you are used to settling for less. You don't believe that you're worthy of more. Like me personally, I said a couple things I'm not going to do because I'm frugal. I'm one of those people like, I don't need another shirt. I got a whole bunch of shirts. So I don't need another shirt, but I'm not going to drive no raggedy ass car. Now my car, and this is where the frugal part come in. My car is a 2013, okay? I ain't gonna drive no raggedy car.
Look, that's new compared to my car. What year is my car? 2003.
Yeah, right. So it's 10 years older than mine. So the point that I'm making is I'm frugal in that I don't need another car. My car is paid off. It's running good. It got a new engine, so I don't need to go get another car. However, I'm not riding around in a car that's all banged up, dented up. What, Houston? Can I ask y'all a question? Why do y'all riding around with your cars all dented up, taped up, and just like, I ain't gonna ride around like that.
I got an answer for you. You know why they do that? Because they take the insurance money, if they have insurance, and they go on cruises and trips and do other things with the money rather than repair their car.
I said this to my daughter too. I said, because like I said, I'm frugal, but I ain't cheap. Now I wouldn't mind if a man drove up to my house or where we gonna meet nowadays. It's kind of weird, right? If we met somewhere and he got a 1995 Toyota, I don't care about that because obviously you ain't paying no car payments. At least I don't think you are. but you frugal, but the car ain't all banged up, dented up, your tags are expired, and I can deal with that.
You
But
got a
you ain't
bungee cord holding the trunk down.
you're not pulling up, picking me up in that. And it's not even because I think I'm bougie, because anybody know me know I ain't bougie, right? But to me, it speaks to a mindset that you were out here driving around with your car all taped up, dented up. Then you want me to get in there. Listen, this is where the queen mindset comes from. I am a queen. And if you didn't feel worthy that you, not even me, because you don't know me like that yet, we're getting to know each other. But if you didn't feel that you were worthy enough to drive around in a car that did not look this way, but yet you got out of the car, you look sharp as a tack, you got smell good on, and you probably tricking your money off somewhere else, I automatically think, brother, you couldn't have fixed your car up a little bit, or you know what I'm saying? Because to me, that says that you broke mentally. Not that, because money, we can get lots of money, comes and goes, but if you broke mentally, I can't deal with a dude that's broke mentally. So, as I said, when you settle for less, you can never get more. All right, moving on. I hope that was a word for y'all, because it was a word for me. Trust me. Okay, I'm struggling today, but I'll be all right tomorrow. Okay. Which of your dating standards are absolutely non-negotiable? Explain. I think I just probably said mine.
All right. My dating thing is it's what I always say when questions like this come up. My role as a man is non-negotiable, and I'm going to be a man the best way that I was taught to be a man and the best way that I interpret what a man should be. So that's non-negotiable. That's just non-negotiable. If you guys have followed Demetra and I on the show, there'll be times where we'll get in discussions, heated discussions, and I won't back down because I'm coming from a man's point of view, and that's non-negotiable. And that's one of the reasons why I do that, because I think a lot of things is everybody's entitled to their opinion, but they're not entitled to their facts. An opinion is just an opinion. It's not necessarily fact. And we got to respect that in regards to each other. What I've seen, and this is my opinion, in the modern age, women's opinion seems to be all that matters. When a man has something to say, it's shot down, or it's irrelevant, or it's this or that. I said that's just what I've been seeing in my opinion. That's why we have these things called simp men that just go along to get along and all this other stuff. But there are men out there that don't have that. And that's one thing that's non-negotiable to me. My manhood is non-negotiable. And the way I look at it is this: any woman that gets with me has to get on my program. I'm not getting on her program. It's my program. And we're going to build together based on my program. I'm not going to go move in with the woman. You got a lot of these young simp men that move in with women, and then when mad day comes, he's out on the street homeless. There's certain things that are just non-negotiable. My manhood is non-negotiable.
My non-negotiable is ignorance. Okay. I can't do ignorance. Ignorance makes me itch. It does. I'm like allergic to ignorance. Okay. I'm not talking about the ignorance where you just don't know, but I'm talking about the ignorance of people who should know better, but they choose not to know better. That's one of my non-negotiables, and that also leads into somebody who does not have knowledge of self. Now, I'm 51. Okay, at this point in the game, I think we should be close to having some knowledge of self. But let's say you don't have knowledge of self. Are you open? Are you open to learning some knowledge of self? I can't deal with that, and I refuse to deal with it. I refuse to deal in a relationship, or it says dating, with a man. So we show up to a date and we're having a conversation. If I hear more of the things that you don't want to do opposed to the things that you will do, I'm not going to date you. Because that sounds like to me that you are closed-minded and that you do not possess the ability to be open, because when you are not open, then you can't grow. And so that says to me that I'm going to be stuck in a relationship with a man who will not negotiate, won't budge. I am stuck in my ways, and it is what it is. And I consider myself a traditional woman. Now, I know that a lot of times, and this is where I take exception to some of the teachings from the manosphere, because I hear the term modern woman, but I'm like, do y'all really know what that means? Because modern just means a new way of doing things. Now, also, when we talk about traditional, a lot of people who are talking about a traditional woman, they're not talking about your mamas and your grandmamas. You know what I mean? Because you ain't your granddaddies and your daddies. Your granddaddies and your daddies was making it to where your mama didn't have to, work or any of that other stuff. When I hear modern woman, I'm hearing a woman that won't do what I say do. It's like, well, you haven't provided that environment. However, back to what I was saying. I am a traditional woman, so I have the ability to adjust and to adapt, right? But I'm not going to be with somebody who cannot do that. If I am with somebody, I say, I'm the type of woman, I want a man to take the lead. I don't have a problem with a man taking the lead and saying, baby, this is what we're going to do. This, that. Okay, cool, baby, whatever. But I'm not going to deal with no man that's ignorant. That's, trying to lead, if you will, out of ignorance. It's what I say, do. Like if I say, honey, what do you think about this? And it's a good idea. Why, we used to doing it this way. I don't want to do it. See, if I get too much of that as a woman, that's going to make me shrink from who I am. And I know being with a man like that is going to have me walking on eggshells, because I've been in relationships like that to where the man just did not want to grow. Did not want to do nothing differently. And so then I found myself walking on eggshells like, okay, I know he's not going to like this idea. So do I say it or do I not say it? Or do I just keep it to myself so I don't get disappointed? So I want to be in a relationship that flows, that's just open, that's just like we're going to learn and grow from each other. But I cannot do no way at a highway type of relationships. I want to be able to have a good conversation with the person I'm with, and we can bounce ideas off of each other and we can grow and that kind of stuff. So
can I ask you a follow-up question to that?
Sure.
How did you get into a relationship with a person that does not want to accept ideas, or was basically what you're saying ignorant? I mean, how did that happen? How do you get into a relationship like that when you're not a person that accepts that?
Well, can I be this deadly honest with you? That's a lot of people. It's not just the people I was in a relationship. There's a lot of people who on Front Street, talking about they open to ideas and they really not. There's a lot of people out there that aren't, because people have it messed up. When they think, oh, I'm open to ideas. No, you're not, because I see the way you move and I hear the things you say. You think that you are. Open to ideas is, all right, honey, let me hear what you got to say. All right, let's do the math. Let's break it down. Is what you saying, will it work? Or am I, because as you said, I'm not saying about you, but I'm just using your idea, because I'm a man, it is what I say. But that don't, because you being a man is only open to interpretation to you, not somebody else. Just like me saying I'm a woman, that's my interpretation. Somebody else might interpret it to be something else. And so are you just saying, if I bring to you an idea, something, me being a woman, and you say, nah, I'm a man, because I said it is. See, that's what so the point that
that's an ignorant type person. Yeah. I mean,
But that's what I'm saying. A lot of people think that they are open-minded, but they're really not. Because when you're open-minded, somebody will bring something to you, and you'll think it over, you'll break it down, and then build it back up, and then say, as you said in your background, it's critical thinking. It's not, because when a man says it's my way to highway, that's emotional. That is locked into old, antiquated ideas of, whatever they've been taught. It's not critical thinking. Well, my baby, she got some good shit to say. Let me hear what she's saying. Okay, then let's converse about it. Does it make sense? All right, it makes sense, or it don't. But then see, because I always say this as working with people in public relations or sales or anything. If I say it, I own it. But if I get you to say it, you own it. So what I mean by that is, if I come to you with an idea and say, honey, what about red instead of blue? Because I think it goes good with this color scheme. You say, nah, I said it's what it is because I'm a man, it's blue. Instead of saying, okay, let me break it on down, and then you say, well, see, and then we get to come to the conclusion together that blue is better. And I say, you know what, honey? Yeah, I guess you're right. Blue is better. Guess what? I own that. He didn't tell me. I said it's blue. He got me to understand blue is better because he took the time to do the critical thinking with me.
Right. Now, you use the example, it's a man. And what man do you know that actually actually still thinks like that, because I'm gonna push back on that just a little bit. If a man is saying that like that, I'm a man, Ike Turner or whatever, and he's providing and doing all that, I can understand that. But I have, in our generation, I have yet to see a man that actually would be like, my way or the highway. And you can do that if you're providing everything. There's no doubt about that. If you are all that and you're the man and you're doing everything that woman doesn't want for anything, absolutely, there's nothing wrong. But I don't think that man exists.
Please. Donovan, I mean, no shade, but you low key said that when you said your non-negotiables. But the other thing too is, I think this, even if you are paying for everything, that woman don't have no say so.
No, that ain't what I'm saying. What I'm saying is, I don't think that man exists. When I say my program, when I'm saying that low key, it wasn't low key anything. What I'm saying is, this is the direction that I'm going to go because I'm the man and I'm leading it, and I am in a position to lead it. A woman doesn't have to follow me. I'm not forcing her to follow me. So that's apples and oranges. But what I'm saying is, a man that does that Ike Turner stuff, or the Mr. from Color Purple, whatever that stuff is, I don't think that man exists anymore. If he does exist, he better come with the whole package.
Got you. So yeah, so that's my non-negotiables. Somebody who is ignorant, somebody who's not willing to grow, somebody who is, just not open to new ideas, who cannot, as you would say, in your background there, critically think. I'm a thinker by nature, so I need to be with somebody who can at least do that. I could be here forever, but I don't have a problem with a man leading me or any of that. I'm not one of those women that like to usurp the man's authority, because I believe that the man is the authority figure in the household. But I think we also need to start talking in terms of the man being a husband. Because see, we talking about a man who just want to move you in, and he ain't trying to marry you and none of that stuff. Well, I mean, that's gonna have some pushback. Because first of all, you need to put a ring on my finger. Then hey, you can lead me around by that ring as long as you want to, right? So there's definitely levels to it. But yeah, so we could be here forever all day. So again, y'all, my apologies for my internet going out. The whole neighborhood glitched. So hopefully won't have that issue again. But we're going to get out of here. We love and appreciate you. We'll be back here on Wealth Wednesdays. Donovan, what do you say before we get out of here?
I want to say, you guys, please tune in on Sundays. Join us for the discussion where you guys are the co-hosts on Sundays, 3 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. That's my time. It'll be 5 p.m. Central Standard Time, Demetra's time, and of course, 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Whole lot of topics where we kind of take the whole week and we kind of get a topic and we talk about that topic. And we are one of the only shows, or Demetra is one of the only shows out there that actually interacts with the people in the chat and the comment live. So join us then, and do us a favor again. Please like, share, and subscribe, and even become a member so that you get notified when Demetra drops her dimes of videos that makes you go, that's something to think about.
Yes, indeed. So we'll see y'all later. And I apologize for my less than a different mood. Sometimes it happens. I'm not in a bad mood. It's just kind of a funky one. But tomorrow is a better day, right? Even the next 5 minutes, I'll probably be totally different. So anyway, we love and appreciate y'all. See y'all later. Please have a great day. I'm going to try to have a good rest of the day and all of that. So we'll see y'all on Wednesdays with Wealth Wednesdays with Walter. Peace.